Hey guys, welcome back to the Do I Want to Know podcast. This is episode 24. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, but I don't want to put you too much at the beginning. We're going to tell you about today's episode. Today's episode is from you guys, all the viewers, all our audience. Let me tell you anything. Any question that you want is going to be answered today on today's mailbox. So I have all the questions. We got Mitch, we got Frankie. We know what they're about already, but we're going to start with this question. Isabel Castrillon, and she asks, this is actually sort of like a question that I like these type of questions. I'm going to give it to Frankie. Frankie,
All right.
What are your views on the traditional 9-to-5 job?
I think that it actually hurts people's what's the word? Utilization, productivity. That's the word. It minimizes people's productivity. It limits them. People think, they get to work at 9. They say, let me just kill an hour doing this, and then I get to lunch. Then let me go and then after lunch, let me kill an hour here, and then I get to 5, and they clock out, never think of it again. I think if you just give people work and say, this is your job, do it however you want, people will go and they'll be way more productive because they'll actually do their job. And, they might do it at night, they might do it in the morning, they might do it in the afternoon, but ultimately they do their job. And I think that 9-to-5 kills people's productivity. And I think that there's no point for it. Who invented that? Why? Who said something has to be 9-to-5?
I think it just came out of nowhere.
What was it? It appeared out of nowhere, right?
Out of nowhere. But I agree with that, Frankie. But at the same time, it's like I want to make sure I get in my money as well. Like some people are hourly rate. That time period, you got that 8 hours you work. So like I kind of want that. If you give me the pay the same amount and I do less hours, yeah, of course I'll take that over everything. But it all depends on that as well, in my opinion.
What I feel though is that what's missing in the 9-to-5 thing is that I guess it's just like getting a schedule. You're in high school, you're in college, you're in university. You sort of have, like when you go to university, you have a different timetable, so you can do different things at different time. It's not locked in. You could have a class at 9, you could have a class at 3. But with 9-to-5, when you're working that Monday to Friday, I think the grind can definitely get to you in the sense of you're doing the same thing over and over again. But it works for some people, and some people like 9-to-5 is not the worst thing. You could be like a 24-hour like on your back just watching the Euros all day, and you could be doing nothing all day. So I think 9-to-5, some people have to get the 9-to-5 mentality back.
At least you don't have to get up super early. 9 o'clock, not bad, and you're going home at 5, and you can do something later the night. That I'll say is great to know as well. Sometimes you gotta push that back, but
exactly. Next question. It comes from actually a great friend of the show here, and I want to shout him out. The Up and Adam Show. Adam, he does a great job on the show. Follow him on YouTube, The Up and Adam Show. He's one of those classic guys, also Italian, sort of like the Bello Bros. These Italians in media, they're coming up and they're making a name for themselves. And he asks, sort of, since we did the movies already, what are your top 5 90s movies, Mitch? Do you even know 5 movies that were made in the 90s?
Yes, I do actually, Mark. Thank you for completely trying to shit on me there. Thanks for that. I won't lie. All the ones that are the best, Academy Award stuff, I have no idea. Never watched them in my life. But there are some 9 movies I do like. I looked them up. Men in Black.
Okay. Top 5?
It's from me. It's ones I've watched. I loved it.
It's bad.
Doubtfire.
Black.
Miss Doubtfire is good.
Okay, Miss Doubtfire is a good movie.
American Pie.
Okay.
I like that one.
There's other ones too.
I think American Pie actually doesn't get enough credit as one of the top comedies of all time.
It doesn't.
It's a funny movie. It's really funny.
All those guys, Biggs, what's his name? Who's the guy? Jason Biggs. What's his name in the movie? His dad, Eugene Levy. He's from Schitt's Creek. He's hilarious. He's the best movie dad of all time.
Definitely, 100%.
100%.
The best of all time?
Movie dad? When you think of movie dads, who do you think of?
Yeah, I got you. I agree.
You know what I mean? Movie dads it's a tough one to come. Maybe like Robert De Niro in Meet the Parents. That's also a good one.
That's a good one too. I like Eugene Levy, and he's Canadian.
We're gonna move on here, and this is a little bit back into the sports realm, and it's from one person that I highly respect a lot, and his name is Mr. Dvorsky. Dvorsky used to be my high school basketball assistant coach at Xavier, and He went on a weight loss journey of his own. He lost, I think, over 120 pounds just from
Nice.
walking and taking action. And you got to appreciate that.
Solid.
You got to say, you start wherever you want, and got to shout out this guy right there. And he has 2 questions. So first one, I think, is going to be more in me and Mitch's realm. So I'm going to ask Mitch. Even Frankie, you can even chime in here, but I'm going to ask Mitch to start this because the next one I really want you to get in. Canada is starting the FIBA qualifying right now, he says, and tonight they're playing Greece, who in their group is considered tough as they have Czech Republic and other teams there. So his question here, this Canadian team assembled right now. I'm going to read off the roster to you. I have the roster right here. Let me just pull it up. Okay, here it is. The Canada men's basketball team roster is as follows. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, RJ Barrett, Trey Bell-Haynes, Anthony Bennett, Aaron Durenkamp, Lugan Stort, Corey Joseph, Trey Lyles, Michael Mulder, Andrew Nicholson, Dwight Powell, and Andrew Wiggins. Now, Mitch, after hearing that team, is this the best Canadian team ever assembled? And who was left out? Let me know.
This is the best Canadian team ever assembled. I will go with yes, NBA-wise, because you have, I think, the most NBA players you ever had on a team. So in that case, yes, they are. It's not going to be because you have other players that are not playing in this tournament because of.
And I think that's the main thing that you're missing here, and that was going to be my point exactly. Is
Jamal Murray,
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Those two are your top guys.
Those are your top guys. Kelly Olynyk too, to a certain extent.
He would be a starter. He would be a starter on that team.
And he's shown it on the big stage. So if you enter those 3 guys, and even some guys coming up, like what's his name? He was at the draft con. AJ Lawson, he's coming up. You never know. There's a lot of guys. Andrew Nembhard, maybe he was one that made a lot of waves in the tournament. There's a lot of Canadian guys coming up, and I think that even though Canada is really good and they have that greatest team ever assembled, the U.S. could put out the D team and still have success. And that's the problem I run into in Olympic qualifiers.
I think if Canada has their full roster on, they are a shot at going to the gold medal game. They have a shot. But luckily, when they face Greece, Giannis is not playing there.
Exactly.
Or his brother, because they're both on Milwaukee. So
there's always that.
Could I say 2 guys that I think are missing from that team?
All right. Sure. Yeah, let us know.
I'm pretty sure that you didn't say Ignas Brazdeikis. No, seriously, we forget. That man's a hooper. You remember him at Michigan? Was it not last year, the year before? He was drafted in the second round by the Knicks.
Bennett on the team. So like
that guy can hoop. And even there's that kid on Oregon. I assume
Dylan Brooks as well.
Dylan Brooks we missed though.
Dylan Brooks, he's definitely like he's an NBA starter and he's gonna be there one day. But hopefully Canada gets through this Olympic qualifier.
What's the starting lineup of all these guys play?
If all these guys play, you're definitely going to start Corey Joseph, then RJ and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, RJ and Lou Dort, and then the front 2 are going to be Andrew Wiggins and Dwight Powell. Even though you have to go small, if that's my bet.
I don't think that Corey Joe starts.
That wasn't the question. We said if everyone plays.
If everyone plays.
Yes. That was what I said. I said,
okay. If everybody plays, then my starting 5, I'm gonna go bold. I'm joking.
A little FC Wonder kid.
Yeah, I had to put it in there. I'm gonna go bold. Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Andrew Wiggins, Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk. I think that's the best lineup that you can put out. If you're going position by position, I could be wrong.
That's what I was about to say. If you're going position by position, that is the best lineup I think you put out there. Obviously you can go small and move Olynyk to keep Olynyk 5, and then I think Dylan Brooks really showed a lot this season specifically. I would even push everyone down, put him in the 2, and then push everyone down. And who'd you have at the 4 again? You have Powell.
Dwight Powell plays for the Mavs.
Comes off the bench.
The center position could be a lot changed between the guys, but I would flat everyone down, and then center would change between.
But then also you want to leave maybe in these type of competitions, U.S. has that depth on the bench. Maybe you bring Dylan Brooks as a 6th man off the bench.
A little super sub.
Again, we have our boy, the maestro, Nick Nurse at the helm. So he's probably going to do something never seen before and start all 13 guys at once. So you never know. All right, next on this, he has another one, and this one I'm gonna address to Frankie. Frankie, he just says this. He actually asks in this question for Frankie. Frankie, tell me about VAR.
So we're talking about VAR, right?
VAR. What are your thoughts? Good for the game, not good for the game. What are your thoughts on VAR?
Well, I think they definitely need to have a couple adjustments with it. For example, if you don't give a guy a card, first of all, I think it's a good thing. I think anyone that's against it is just they're living in the 19th century. You need video replay. You need video review. There's too many things that are missed. You watch soccer, it has a huge, huge field. There's so much stuff that can be missed, all about angles. You need to have video review. However, I think that when it comes to carding a player, that shouldn't be reviewable. You go, if it's bad enough that you see it, it's a card. You can't go back and look and say, oh, he did do this, I'm going to give him a card now. I think that I really feel passionate about that if you don't see it as it's happening, then obviously it doesn't warrant a card. That's my opinion. But I do think that VAR is something that needs to stay. I don't understand people that don't agree with it. I think that they're living 4 decades ago, and every other sport has video review. It has to happen.
You know who really likes video replay?
Oh, the NBA.
Scott Foster.
Okay, yeah, of course. They love it. No, and that's why I want to sort of get, because obviously, Mitch, VAR probably don't know to the full extent how it can upset some fans in soccer, like when you're celebrating a goal and then you're wondering why. But one thing that I saw this weekend, and my friends were watching the game, Tyrell, he was talking to me, and we were watching the Phoenix Suns Clippers. I think it was game 3 actually, and that was the game where DeAndre Ayton he dunked the ball with 0.8 seconds, and then they're reviewing for 50 minutes.
Yeah. So for the minute 6 that was left in the game, that total time was 27 minutes. 27, and this was the rule that I proposed to my friend Tyrell, and I'm going to say it here. NBA, you don't want to review this much, but you also don't want to put in too many challenges to make it like, oh, they're going to challenge every call. How about this? You give each coach the challenge, and then you go adapt the NFL rule where you put the 2 challenges. You win that challenge, you get the second. But within 2 minutes, if you're going to have to go review, you only have 60 seconds. If you cannot come to an actual determination in 60 seconds, if the call is right or wrong, then you stick with the call on the court.
I agree with that.
If you can implement that rule, because in 60 seconds, you can sort of see and judge, oh, is it sort of off this guy? But the 27 minutes racks up when they show 6 different replays on the jumbo screen. The guys at home, Reggie Miller's talking me through what the baseline is. And then I don't know if I want to watch the rest of the game because the whole momentum's gone. So I think if the NBA, 2 challenges, and in the last 2 minutes, only have a minute replay max, have a shot clock, have a literal timer at 60 seconds on the screen like they have for Giannis's free throws. And I think that's going to work.
That doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
It's not talking about your Giannis free throw thing. That doesn't work.
I know, it already doesn't work.
He goes 15 seconds. They're like, I don't care.
Why? You don't agree with that? There should be a time limit on the replays?
I was talking about Giannis.
I think there should be a time limit.
Your time limit is a very good point, and I think that would work a lot because a lot of times in the NBA, every small thing, you see the guys walking back down the court going like this, telling the ref, "Hey, review it," and all it takes is one ref to take the
blow that whistle.
Yeah, and it's just we should review it, and it becomes a big whole thing.
I sort of roasted the MCU earlier in the show, so we're gonna bookend it with this. Who are the top 5 MCU characters? Let's go, Mitch, because Mitch, you're a big MCU guy. Who are your top 5 MCU characters?
No order, because we're not trying to make this long. Black Panther probably is number 1 if I'm going to put in order. Iron Man, Thor. I want to say Cap, but that's like you got the Trinity right there. I'm not trying to say that, but I guess I'll go with Cap as well. And Scarlet Witch. Those would probably be my favorite ones, I guess. Those would be my best ones. What about you guys?
Mine's close. I have Black Panther as well. You got to go with the big three: Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. They're too good to not be there. And I love Scarlet Witch, but I got to go with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's classic. He is the face of Marvel. I'm going Spider-Man.
I guess I'll take a different approach here because, obviously it says top 5 MCU characters and you automatically say Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, Iron Man. It's sort of like a self-conscious. You go right away. But I'm going to say MCU characters, even people that aren't superheroes. So some of my favorites that aren't superheroes, Korg.
Korg is awesome. I love Korg.
Korg is awesome. Come on now. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I get about, you love the superheroes. He's one of my favorite characters in all the MCU. Also, another one could be controversial here. I loved the Mandarin. The Mandarin, when that happened, I was dying of laughter.
That should have been your unpopular opinion.
Yeah. The Mandarin, like, everybody was, oh my God, where's the Mandarin? Like, it's going to be this big thing.
Mark, I'm an actor. I'm an actor.
He had some great lines, man. Like, you have to look at it. Ben Kingsley went in there, and he knew he was going to get hate, but he didn't care. He was coming in there, and I have to respect him for that. Also, honorable mention, what is it? Robert Downey Jr.'s daughter in that.
Morgan Stark, that's her name, yeah.
Morgan Stark, yeah. She's definitely one of the cutest people in the end game, and she definitely made the Iron Man death a lot more controversial. But again, 100%. Mandarin.
That line made me cry when she said,
I love you 3000.
No, when her cheeseburgers was the moment I cried in Endgame. It wasn't I love you 3000. It brought me back to episode, like the first one, like really like something that small that you remember as a fan.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you know them.
Oh, I cried. I swear to God, tears down my eyes.
Enough emotion, enough that. There's one last question here in the mailbox, and we want to get to it. And it's from somebody that we really appreciate. And his name is the birthday boy, Gino Iantorno. Clap it up, Mr. Gino Iantorno. Putting in the work, Mr. Well himself. He goes in, he gets everything done, always on time, always on target. And it's his birthday, and he has one question for the Do I Want to Know crew. And that is this simple. If you could be a champion and dominate in any sport, what sport would you choose?
So easy.
Same.
I think Mitch is gonna. I think I know. Is it gonna be the heavyweight champion of the world?
Yes, it is. Because you're making a ton of money. First thing. Second thing is you're not just a big in that sport. You're fighting. Like if you're that dominant as a heavyweight champion, no one's gonna mess with you. No one wants to mess with Mike Tyson. No one wants to mess with him. Mm-hmm. So if you do have that, being a boxer is not just you dominate your sport. You're kind of dominant of the world because no one can beat you up. You can take anyone you want.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's what I like about if you're going to be the most dominant fighter is that you can be like scared. Like you're scared of Mike Tyson. You're scared of Muhammad Ali. You're scared of these guys. But then if I was going to go, like my answer to this question originally was most dominant in basketball. Basketball is the sport I play the most, want to do that. But now like you want to be the most dominant in basketball. NBA Twitter sucks. Like you're going to be there all the time and you're going to be entered in all these debates about, who's the best this? I don't want to be on Nick Wright's podcast. I don't want to be on these guys' podcasts being talked about if I was the most dominant in my era or if I miss a clutch free throw like Paul George did, even though he's carrying his team right now, then he's labeled a fraud. I don't want to be in these discussions. I also agree that the UFC heavyweight, but if I could also be good in one sport, I think golf. Like golf, if you're really sick in golf, then I think you have the most respect from a lot of people. Like Tiger Woods, no matter what you say, people respect that guy. Like you can't say like no matter people respect him for what he's done for the sport. You say Tiger Woods, you think elite, gets it done, gets it that. And if you're just a dominant golfer, winning every single round, every single putt, and you're just dominating like Shaq in the paint, I think that's going to be something that you can definitely gloat for it forever.
Mark brought his A game today.
That's a good one. I think I have a good one here. And look, it's not because I'm the biggest fan of this sport, because I'd say, basketball, football, or hockey before this sport. However, if you are the greatest at this sport, it means you truly are the greatest in the world, not just the greatest in North America. You are the greatest in the world.
I know what he's going to say.
And that is soccer. What are you talking about?
I think you do like some Olympics thing, like the fastest man in the world.
No, that's a good one though. That would be interesting. But if you are the best soccer player, you're competing all over the world in different countries, and you're better, and you have the global attention. Everyone in the world is watching what you're doing. If I'm a great hockey player, awesome, right? However, Canada and maybe 2% of the United States is seeing what I'm doing. If I'm a great basketball player, okay, America, a little bit of Canada, and a little bit of China here and there, and some other European countries a little bit are watching you. When you're at soccer, we're in Canada, we're all watching the Euro Cup. The States, everyone watches the Euro Cup, World Cup. Everyone watches it around the world. I would want to be on the biggest stage. I would want to be the greatest soccer player.
And you can respect that. But the thing is, when you go into sports like football, basketball, this or that, you can always be said because there's different aspects. I think if you're like the best bowler in the world, or you're the best like something in like bowling.
Did you say bowler?
Yeah, if you're the best bowler,
that would be pretty hard. But no one would know.
Yeah,
who do you think you are? I am.
That guy's a legend.
He's a good. Mitch, you gotta do that again for the TikTok right now. Go ahead. Do it one more time, buddy. I liked it a lot.
Who do you think you are? I
am. That's on the promo. But anyways, that was the mailbox, and we had a lot of fun today. Frankie Iantorno, Mitchell Cairns, those are the pillars, the cornerstones of the Do I Want to Know podcast. These guys, every day I record an episode with them every week. You got to love what they're bringing to the podcast. And a little appreciation right here. I want to thank you guys, always being there, always putting in the work. And we got to keep on grinding, keep on doing that. And with that being said, we have a couple updates on shows coming up. So sort of, since you guys want, maybe if you're listening and there's the loyal 67 of you, you're there, then we're going to be talking to you here. The next two videos on the channel are going to be this. We're going to have a UFC 264 preview coming out. It's going to be everything from Poirier McGregor, Sean O'Malley versus whoever his opponent is. His opponent dropped out. Greg Hardy of the Cowboys is fighting on this card. I didn't even know.
That's nuts.
I know, it's nuts. We're going to be having a special preview with a TikTok analyst of the game, who we are going to announce later on our Instagram. But also, the next guest that we're going to have on our podcast from I Wanna Burn Fat, Munir. He's going to be coming on to talk about everything. And Mitchell, he's been sending him emails left and right, and he's excited for him to come on. And he's going to be our guest on the next podcast. Mitchell, what do you have to say to him?
I'm very excited about this, man, because I was watching this stuff. Like, I never followed it, but it was always on my Explore page, and I would save the stuff, his advice, his tips, all that stuff. I would save it, and it was part of my stuff. So when I was like, oh, maybe we should try to get this guy on the podcast, and he said he wanted to, I was like ecstatic. Ecstatic. I'm really looking forward to this, talking about fitness and bringing in that side that everyone hates that I talk about.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about my fitness.
Yeah, exactly. And we can talk about for all we want. Frankie, me, you, Mitch. But when you bring in somebody who's an expert in a field, I think that's going to be something that you'll really want to watch and really maybe take notes. Like, we're going to be asking a lot of questions because I don't know everything. And even though Mitch has 6-pack abs, he doesn't know everything either. So maybe this 8-pack abs, look at this.
You threw up an 8.
You threw up an 8. Next
That's so obnoxious. That's so obnoxious. I don't even want to get into that.
So when Jordan shows up this, it's not obnoxious, but I show up this, it is.
Yeah, if someone says you have a 6-pack, you just accept that. You say, yeah, whatever. You don't correct them and say 8.
Okay, Jordan has 4 rings.
That's a difference. There's a difference.
Right.
There is a difference.
Whatever. Mitchell has 8-pack abs. Everybody, you probably gonna have 8-pack of beer at the cottage this weekend listening to that. But everybody, remember this. Whatever you're doing right now, you're watching this podcast. If you haven't, like, comment, subscribe. It's not hard. I've asked you all the time. Maybe a couple of you listen, but we need more of you to listen.
We should be doing it at the beginning more.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more at the beginning. I think so. Because I think maybe just start off with a subscribe. Subscribe.
That's how we should start it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it a lot too. But anyways, Do I Know episode 24 in the books. And until next time.
Have a marvelous day.
Have a
marvelous day? No.
Well,
I thought we could work Mark in there.
Recording stop.